Hi, I'm Sam Low. I'm a visual artist based out of Singapore. I started doing art professionally in 2012. It has been about 7 years. I've been exploring a lot of different mediums. My practice is very varied, but when I first started out, it was a lot of work in the streets. So the choice to be an artist wasn't really something that I set out to do initially. It wasn't until like 2012, which was the year I went to it professionally, that I went headfirst 100% into art, and it was a result of my arrest. Prior to that, I was working, I was schooling, I had different plans, started my own company and create this platform for a lot of creative works to be done. But when the whole case happened, the whole Sticker Lady case happened, I had to put that on hold and continue, to focus on art, because it was something I really enjoyed doing. Before I actually made the choice to actually become an artist, I didn't know how to do anything, to be honest. I only knew how to use Photoshop, use Illustrator, and literally that was all I knew. I didn't have the incubation period. I didn't go to art school or design school, so I had to learn everything. And so that's why I love jumping mediums, because I want to learn them all. And that's pretty much why my practice has all those different layers today. Yeah. One of the things that I started learning how to do back then was sculpting, and it's something that I absolutely fell in love with. It's unlike creating murals and painting where everything is really fast. I could take my time with sculpting, and it's something that I really could feel like my soul being poured into. And so when I create a piece that out of clay, and I could really see this is how I could actually build on it and play on it, and it feels so natural. Sometimes it can get pretty stressful. When we were kids, I think a lot of us can relate to the fact that a lot of our parents also told us that it's hard to make money in the arts. True to some degree, pretty true. But at the same time, I see so many artists who are doing this as the main job, who are also or who live double lives as well, doing their own day job and doing art on the side. That's that true passion in there, and it's so inspiring. I think here in Singapore, we not just create our own works, but we also create works to survive. Our bread and butter. So it's commission projects and things like that. Commercial projects, commission projects. I think it's very interesting where we're at, to be honest. We have so much information around, right? We travel a lot more as well. We have the internet. We combine all that information, the Western ideals, and all these different places we visited, together with the Asian values together. This is what you get in Singapore. It's this whole melting pot. We also have a combination of both Eastern and Western aesthetics as well. In Singapore, when we are always looking to see what our culture is, we are always looking back at the past, but we cannot ignore the fact that we are in the present. And in the present, there's all these other icons and things that are around. That's also building our culture. So when I put them two together, I think it's so interesting to see what new things we can create. It starts with a lot of research. Depending on what we are talking about, the theme or question, I will start with that question. And somewhat like a mind map, I will draw out what are different possibilities or what are the different questions that come out of it, and I answer them at the same time. I branch them out, and so it becomes this complex map. And from there, when I look back at it, it will form this one conclusion or a couple of conclusions, which I can either tackle bit by bit or all together at once like a collage. And so in forming these designs or artworks, I take that and I transform them or translate them into different visual representations. So they could be icons, they could be familiar imagery, depending on how I wanted to say it. I love a lot of things about my job. I love the fact that I can do what I love. I love painting, I love creating work. I love traveling as well. Sometimes I'm really lucky enough to actually travel somewhere to share what I like to do and meet a lot of like-minded people as well. And these people have become my friends and family. That's what I love about the art. I think when I was sticking the stickers, I thought that I would still remain anonymous and continue creating all those posts because I love that. I love that so much. But the thing is, after I got arrested and my identity became public, of course I can't do that anymore. Unless I have a secret alias, but that's a different thing. For this piece, it's inspired by good luck charms, and I thought it'd be interesting, like, if we could actually bid the traveler good travels with that. So in it are like different patterns, inspired by both local and international inspirations. So you have elements of like water, land, and air, and so it's to bid like the traveler wherever territory or wherever domain that they go on, they will have good luck. The waves were very similar to the textiles and like patterns that we see on them. The tiles for land are very much inspired by the floor tiles that you see here. And we have a lot of flowers and ornate designs in that. And then for clouds, it's like the Chinese clouds that you see on like a lot of like the fabrics as well. Yeah. So by combining those different elements together, that was my interpretation of like a good luck charm.